Hi everyone, welcome back to Dobby Books, and today I have a very non-bookish topic that I wanted to talk about with you. I came upon an article, it might have been about 2 weeks ago, maybe just 1 week ago, and it talked about aging. It's an exciting topic, I know, but hear me out here, because it got me thinking. And this article, I think, was from a CNN article. And here it is. Humans age dramatically at two key points in their life. And I saved the article, which I will put a link to for you. But what really interested me about this article is that most of us think that we age in a linear fashion, right? So it's a cumulative process. And what this study has discovered is that that actually isn't the way it happens. It actually is similar to, when we're young and we go through growth spurts. So it doesn't seem to be this easy, this smooth transition. We're gone one summer, school's out, we don't see each other for the summer. And then all the kids come back to school and they look at each other and they go, dude, you really got tall, or whatever. It's kind of like that experience, but we get older. So I want to highlight some items here for you that really stand out. It said, the scientists, you see, the study was published in the journal Nature Aging. Scientists at Stanford University and Nanyang Technological University in Singapore followed 108 participants over several years to observe aging changes in their molecules, RNA, proteins, and participants' microbiomes. And this is what they found. The scientists found that human aging does not happen in a gradual, linear way. Rather, the majority of the molecules they studied showed accelerated, non-linear changes at the ages of 44 and 60. So those are the two key ages that apparently we have our little equivalent to aging growth spurts. And I wanted to test this out. So I started looking through my electronic albums, on my phone and whatever, pictures of myself at 44, younger than that. I wanted to see what the transitions were like. Is it true? Did I really change so drastically at 44 as opposed to 40 or even 43? So I went on a search, and this is what I found. Number one, there were no pictures of me at 44. And I tried to figure out why that was the case, and I realized that at 44, I was going through a very tumultuous divorce. I was not in the mood for selfies or pictures or whatever. It just was not the time for me to be taking happy, lovely little pictures. So I did find a picture of me at 42 or 43, roughly, closer to 43. And I'm going to show those to you. And then I also found another picture of me at around 46 or 47. So in that gap, somewhere in the middle there, was the age of 44, where I apparently went through this definitive, unmistakable change, apparently. So let's see what I found. I look here. I'm going to show you a picture of me at 43. It's a picture of me and my daughter. I'm the redhead, just in case you didn't know. But this is me at 43. Now look closely. I want you to look around the eyes. You know how we normally get lines around the eyes. Look at lines around the mouth, the 11s, which are the lines between the eyebrows. Those are normally where signs of aging will first show up. So for me in this, my skin to me looks pretty good. I'm looking around my eyes and I don't even see lines. Maybe I'm sure there's one or two on each side, but they're so faint. So that is me at 43. The following year was supposed to be the Big Bang, right? I'm supposed to age. But since I don't have a picture of me at 44, the soonest I found a picture of myself was at the age of 46. So this apparently is 2 years after the big change at 44. And yeah, this is me at 46. Now, this is a picture with me and my son. So this is 2 years after the big change. And this is what I saw. And you're going to see the same thing. Look at the difference in my skin. The lines around my mouth. So I'm smiling and you see the grooves on the side of my face. They're defined. They were not defined at 43. If you look at my eyes, I don't know if I can get any closer. If you can see maybe the lines around my eyes, they're still faint. Look at the 11s between my brows. It's very faint. But the texture of my skin has also changed. I just found that so fascinating. So that is me at 47, 46. And so now I wanted to know the last picture. Now I am 60 right now. So I'm in that year where I'm supposed to be going through another aging growth spurt. So and I wanted to find, you're looking at me, I'm 60, so you can see my face. But the thing is, since getting older, so when I hit late 50s, I made it a point of always putting on some sort of tinted BB cream or CC cream. So it's just like a sheer coverage, but it balanced out the uneven skin tone, which becomes more pronounced as we get older. I just feel more confident doing that. I don't have to wear lipstick. I don't have to wear mascara. I just wanted to even out my skin tone. That's like the bigger deal with me. And especially now, after having had shingles earlier this year, and it left a scar on my forehead. I call it my Harry Potter lightning bolt. You're going to see it in this picture of me without makeup on, without anything on my face. You're going to see that lightning bolt much more clearly. But this is me at 60. This is a picture with me and my granddaughter. I'm going to try to do a close-up of my face here. And I took this picture with her because we have the same curly, crazy hair, but she's a beautiful brunette with greenish eyes. And I'm just a crazy redhead. So here's a picture of me at 60. Again, no makeup in this one, no coverage. But look at the eyes. You see the lines around the eyes. And I think my lips, even though I'm smiling, they're a little thinner. I've always had full lips, but I notice they're thinner here now when I smile. You see the grooves around my mouth? There's more of them now. The 11s, you can definitely see the 11s. I just find that fascinating. Even my nose looks a little bit different. But what I'm mostly curious now is to see what I look like in a couple of years. Am I going to have that dramatic difference from 60 to 62 or 63 that I had in the earlier two pictures, of one where I'm 43 and the other one where I'm 46? So there's a 3-year difference, but the changes to my face seem like more years than that actually went by. And going back to the article, it doesn't want everybody to leave feeling depressed and discouraged. So their purpose of these studies were to, what was it? Well, basically to use it for treating people in a preventative manner. The one thing it did mention, okay, as part of the changes, like the metabolic changes, it says first around the age of 40 and once more around 60, components involved in metabolizing alcohol also diminish, particularly around the age of 40. Now, I did not drink very much, even into my 40s at all, so I don't sense any difference in that. I still enjoy having a glass of white wine in the evening. and 7-day week, I think I will do that 4 or 5 times a week. I have a glass of white wine. I like Pinot Grigio. And I have a particular brand that I purchased that has an alcohol content that's lower and a sugar content that's lower than your average white wine. Because I don't really need the buzz. I just want to enjoy the wine. So, and let's see. They say findings like these can help with the diagnosis and prevention of diseases. And they also said it helps them to identify clinically actionable markers that can be used to improve healthcare management and the well-being of aging populations. It goes on to explain what sort of tests they took. And the final thing they said, as for what to take away from their findings, the researchers advise making lifestyle changes such as drinking less alcohol and exercising more when nearing these pivotal years in your 40s and 60s. Take care of yourself more closely at specific time points during your lifespan. And that just reminds me of something that my own physician had told me before I turned 60. So I was 58, 59. And she said studies have found that individuals who take care of themselves as best as possible during their 60s, so they're really focused on taking care of themselves in their 60s, then their 70s and their 80s and their 90s go much smoother than the average person who didn't have that focus. And one of the things that I go by, ever since she brought that up, one thing I've been going by are the Blue Zones guidelines. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Blue Zones, Dan Buettner was a National Geographic journalist who went to various parts of the world researching centenarians, people who lived to age 100 or beyond, and trying to find commonalities among those populations. He's published several books. They all have the Blue Zones named to them. And in that study, he's put together some guidelines for us to live healthier, longer lives. And I'll just briefly go through each one. And these are the things that I try to follow in my own life. So number one, move naturally. I have never been athletically inclined, but I could walk. Even when I was very, very pregnant, I could walk. And it was something I was good at, so I did it. I don't like running. I don't like jogging. I really didn't like playing team sports. I played softball for a while, but I really wasn't someone who was competitive and driven. That was never me. But I love to walk. I love to hike. I love riding my bicycle. And I love the fact that in the Blue Zones, you don't have to join a gym. Just move. Use stairs whenever you can. Park farther down the parking lot. Simple things that you can already incorporate into your lifestyle. The second thing he says is purpose. And it means having a reason to wake up in the morning. And that's why it's dangerous when we retire, because we can lose that purpose. So they stress that when you do retire, work as long as you can, like be semi-retired. Try to keep a purpose. And when you do finally retire, make sure you have something waiting for you when you have after that last day of work. And the third one is downshift. That simply means that you have something that pulls you away from the stresses of the day. That could be something as simple as allowing yourself to have a nap 3 times a week. Something where you just downshift. Here they mention that, some people pray, some people nap, some people have a happy hour. Things that you turn the world off for a little while and just enjoy yourself. The fourth one is the 80% rule, which is basically don't stuff yourself when you eat. Get 80% full and stop. The next one is plant slant, which means you don't necessarily have to be a vegetarian, but they've noticed that those who live the longest will eat meat once or twice a week, and the rest of their diet is predominantly vegetables, fruits, beans, grains. That's what it is. Number 6, wine at 5. Now this was interesting. It says people in all the Blue Zones, except for the Adventists, drink alcohol moderately and regularly. Moderate drinkers outlive non-drinkers. The trick is to drink 1 to 2 glasses per day, and there's a certain red wine that they studied as well that had that was particularly healthful to drink. Have 1 to 2 glasses per day with friends or with food. I can do that. Yeah, okay. 7, belong. So it talked about people having some sort of faith-based group that they belong to, where they go regularly. Yeah, so that would increase your life expectancy anywhere from 4 to 14 years. That's amazing. The 8th one was loved ones first, which is keeping aging parents and grandparents nearby or in the home. We can't all do that because I live far away from my children, just the way it's ended up. But I do try to visit them a couple of times a year, if not more so, if I'm able to. They commit to a life partner and invest in their children with time and love. And the last one is the right tribe, which means groups of friends committed to each other for life. That I think can be hard for some of us because we're such a what's the word? We move a lot, so it's hard to establish those roots for some of us. But I think that maybe some ways that we can make up for that is always, if we move somewhere, someplace new, try to join some sort. For me, it's easiest to join a book club at the local library, and we meet once a month or once every 2 weeks. It's just something along those lines where we're staying connected. We can't always be connected to neighbors because depending on where you move or whatever, not all neighbors are warm and friendly, but just staying connected. And that reminded me of when we were going through the pandemic, how for the elderly, for instance, they'd be put in a hospital. They were not allowed to see their family because it was just this mysterious virus that was killing people, and they really needed to take every precaution possible to keep this from spreading any farther. But as a result, a lot of those elderly who were alone without the company of family and friends died. And I know what killed them faster was that loneliness. So it really sort of made it very real to me of how important community is. So I won't go any farther, but that was it. That was just my fun little project to see if what this article said was really true, and it looks like it is. So I don't know if you guys are brave enough to look at your old pictures and see what you looked like at 44 and then again at 60, maybe a few years before each one of those landmark ages. If you're willing to do that little experiment and check it out, heck, go ahead and do a video on that. I'd love to see what everybody else has found. That's it, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I enjoyed making this video. Talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.